Hello and welcome to Audionautic Deep Space Network, episode 12. I don't know what that noise was, but it was there greeting us, just like we're greeting you now. This is our weekly live stream, and today we're going to be talking about some cool stuff from Superbooth22 and a couple other things. I've got some news about YouTube clips and things like that. Eon, like, is that your modular?
Is that, yeah.
It's that just going off in the background.
This is your Deep State EP. That's what it is. After declaring wonderfully after week 11 that we got on with absolutely no technical difficulties and absolutely on time and everything, here we are late with technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's par for the course with us. Anyways, my name is Sunwarper, and with me today is my Audionautic co-pilot, Curtis.
At all now. I just had you on the wrong speakers before.
Well, hi Audionautic. How you doing, man? Can you hear us?
I don't think he's hearing us, is he?
You can't hear us. We can hear you.
You're not hearing us. Yeah, we're live.
Oh.
There we go. Anyway, yes. Having a little bit of a rickety start on this particular occasion, episode 12, I think. But, I mean, maybe we did jinx it from last week.
Yeah, I think we spoke too soon.
Might have spoken a little bit too soon, but it's fine. Sunwarper, while Eon Lake is doing his thing, can you tell us, how's your week been going? How you been doing?
Week's been good. It's been mostly just prepping a bunch of stuff for Farther coming out. Which dropped on Bandcamp today, and then it's going on streaming Friday. So I'm stoked to get it out, but I've been working on an acoustic version that I'm going to try to film, and I've been figuring out, do I try to mic it, or do I just try to go through the phone and then add some mixing? Because the phone quality isn't too bad just filming it, so I'm debating on what to do, but we'll see.
Wow. I mean, I'd like to see that personally. I know it's not electric, but when you did your cover at the end of last week, it was pretty dope. So I mean, an acoustic alternative would always be a good.
Yeah, this was just a little worrisome because I got to sing, and if I do it through the phone or even with the microphone, there'll be like zero pitch correction, which is fine. I don't mind doing it, but it's it's a little anxiety because I haven't sung like doing stuff like that in a while, so it'll be the first time.
So I mean, are you doing much pitch correction when you do
No, but I just like having the option to do it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, just if I hit a wrong note or something, but it is what it is, and that's all kind of part of like an acoustic stripped down session, right? Like, it's just what's there is there.
A bit rawer.
Yeah, I think I'm most nervous about sharing like my singing and stuff, which is why I haven't sung in a long time, anyways. So it's just like an added layer of anxiety on top of it, you know.
Yeah, I completely agree. But I mean, having listened to the song back and forth over the last couple of weeks, it's a pretty dope song.
Oh well, thank you. Yeah, I'm stoked to finally get it out. I wrote it last year, but was like, I don't know where it's gonna fit, and then I finally got it on the album. So
good, that's what everybody needs to see on that front, So Father comes out. So it came out on Bandcamp today, and then it was Spotify. It's on Friday, right?
Yeah, all streamers on Friday, and then we're gonna do a really cool lyric video that you made, I should say, on Friday over on this channel, the Audionautic channel, and then the acoustic video, if all goes well, will go up on Tuesday over on my channel. So feel free to subscribe to my Sunwarper channel if you haven't already, but I'll be posting it on my socials and all that too. But anyways, what have you been up to?
Well, I've been working on your stuff again.
Jeez.
So as part of your subsequent releases before your album at the end of the year, obviously you're releasing all your singles, and I'm remixing the next one, basically, aren't I?
Yeah.
It's interesting as fuck. So I've been working on that because I was stuck on it for a long while. A long time. I was going through it. I had the stems in Ableton, and I was going through it, and I was just like, there's nothing really speaking to me. There's nothing really, not in terms of the sonics, but just where I can fit and what I can do with it. And then I got really high. And
that'll solve any problem.
I know, right? I know. And I was just like, you know what, this doesn't have drums, so but there's a little kick in there, for example, but that's about it. And
Oh,
I was just like, all right, I'll just add percussion, and I'll just see where percussion gets me. And now there are 9 drum kits in there.
interesting.
Oh, we got him. We've got him. I hear him.
Well, we've been able to hear him. I don't think he can hear us. Are you hearing
you
us?
hear us? You hear us at all, Howard?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Just let's see. Maybe he can restart it. Just get him off. Maybe he can come back.
Yeah. I'm gonna boot. That's what we're gonna. Howard gonna. Gonna boot. And try again.
So 9 drum kits, huh? That's insane.
Yeah. There are 9 drum kits. And there are 9 drum kits involved.
Wow.
And
yeah,
I just kept adding. I mean, and they're not all like full. Like the first 4 are like full, and then the rest of them are just like bits and bobs. I basically made a drum rack of hi-hats and then put some algorithmic kind of step sequences in between.
Oh, trippy.
And then just kind of played around with that, and then before you know it, you got all these kind of like weird, kind of glitchy sounds to it. A little bit crunch there and there.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so
that's cool. Have you done much for? Well, I don't know if we're talking about your upcoming releases, but for your upcoming releases, have you been writing anything? I don't want to spoil anything.
I've just. Well, I mean, what have I done? Well, I've just finished Fragments 2.
Nice. That's what I was gonna ask, but I was like, I don't know if he's wants me to say he's working on Fragments or something.
No, Fragments. I signed off on Fragments this morning, actually. Which is nice. Again, all ambient. You got to do it once a year, just like hardcore ambient all the way through. And little what's the phrase? Puzzle pieces as to where Curtis is going to go after the next album. So that's cool. It's always fun. It's always fun. It's right.
It's kind of fun working in strictly ambient, right? Because you can really just like put Valhalla on everything or do something like that. Just experiment with random stuff. Yeah,
completely. And I mean, Valhalla. We're going to talk a lot about Valhalla today. I can feel it.
I love talking about Valhalla. The B-side on Farther is like all courtesy of Valhalla. So,
so speaking about where we're going, do you want to fill people in on where we're at and what we're kind of discussing today? What kind of the lowdown is?
Yeah. So, well, first of all, I should say that this show is sponsored by our patrons over at patreon.com. /Audionautic. If you want to come join us, we have a Twitter group, and we have additional content like a podcast called Starstream with our friend Eon Lake, who unfortunately is having technical difficulties, so I don't know if he can join us today. We also do some bloopers and things like that. But yeah, so they are also welcome to join in the video on our live streams about halfway through when we start doing what Curtis likes to call the round robin. And today we'll be talking about third-party plugins versus stock plugins. What is it that you want to talk about? Whether if you could choose one, right? Like only one thing is that what it was?
No,
I'm forgetting.
I don't work in binaries.
Well, we do binary stars. I don't know.
That's true. I know.
That was your idea.
I wanna kind of discuss like the pros and cons of each, and when we use them, whether or not we use them both, or whether or not we're strictly third party.
Okay, that was it. That's what I saw. The whether we're strictly, okay. But yeah, so we'll be talking about that in a little bit. If any patrons want to join, they are more than welcome to. And then before that, we'll be talking about some of the cool gear that came out at Superbooth, which if you're not familiar, it's a big, I guess you call it convention or like tech thing where a bunch of companies announce their synths and, products of all kinds and things like that. There's some really cool stuff that's on the way or already out. And then lastly, I've got some news in the marketing corner about YouTube clips, which seems very promising. And then also something, it's only for 500 subscribers and up, but Curtis, have you ever seen those quizzes on YouTube that people post? Do you like, what kind of pizza do you like? Pepperoni, pineapple, this, that? You've never seen those? You just not go on YouTube?
I don't spend a lot of time unless I'm here staring at screens.
All right.
Curtis.
Fair enough. Well, that's the thing you can do as a creator. You can make posts, like text posts. You can put pictures, but they have these quizzes that it helps, connect you with your subscribers. And now they're allowing for 500 subscriber and up channels, you can do, what's it called? You can do pictures on each little thing of the quiz. So you could do like pepperoni pizza, put a pepperoni pizza, pineapple pizza, put a pineapple pizza. So it's just something cool. But let's first see if Eon Lake can hear us. And we'll go from there.
Can you hear us, buddy?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we're just getting that modular back in.
That is. I'm looking forward to that next EP. I really am. It's gonna be amazing. It's sounds like nothing I've ever seen before. We'll have to see. How he's currently muted. I'll keep it going for now. I'll tell you what. We're at 17 minutes in, and let's face it, we've not had the easiest start to this week. So
this is a rough one.
So let's go straight over to Superbooth.
Yeah,
that's
let's
the thing
do it.
that everyone wants to have a look at. So we have three. Obviously, I had absolutely no idea that Superbooth was a thing before we started discussing this over the weekend, and that shows you just how up in my own little world I am when it comes to hardware and things like that. So.
If it's not an Ultranova, you don't need to stay up to date on it, right?
Yeah. It's not my Ultranova or my Telecaster. I'm alright.
Yeah. What about the monologue?
I mean, it's nice. Again, it's nice to have as part of everything. I won't lie. Do I love it? It's okay. Will I keep it forever? Probably not.
I'd really like to see you with the mini log.
Well, this is it. I think if I had the mini log, I think I'd enjoy it a lot more. This is the monologue, and there's a lot more. It's a lot more limited in what it can do, and it's a lot more kind of one dimensional. So
yeah.
It's good for certain bits and bobs, but I'll have to see. So we'll have to see. But let's get into Superbooth. I'm gonna kick Howard one more time until we can get this sorted, just for the name of consistency and where we can go. For everyone, sorry, Howard, we love you. We really
he's having some connectivity issues or something. I don't think he can hear us, unfortunately. So I'm sure he'll sort it out.
We'll get it done. We'll set it done. So we're going to go through here. So can you tell people Superbooth?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the most up to date. I just watch all the videos from Sonic State, the YouTube channel. I think it's in Germany, and it's huge, like massive, and they have some live shows, like performances there, and then a ton of booths, hence the super booth, I suppose, of different like synth makers, plug-in makers, all that stuff. Arturia is usually there. There's tons of companies there. That's just popped in my head because I remember they announced a couple of new V Collection synths last year. I didn't see if they did anything this year, but I'm sure they have. But we each brought something to the table. The thing that really interests me was I think it's the Dirty Wave M8 tracker. It's like this little Game Boy looking thing. Look at that thing. And I think it's based off of a tracker that was like modded into Game Boys back then. And it looks so, simple, but in terms of like how do you design music, it looks so clunky. But I've seen a lot of videos where people are claiming like it's super fun to use. It's really creative, and the music they make on it is cool. I really like the idea of trackers. It's not something I've gotten into yet. I would like to one day, and I love how just portable that is. Like, I don't think it could get much more portable than that little dude. So
yeah, completely. Like, I mean the trackers they go down, don't they? And they kind of you have to.
Yeah, it's like a vertical creating thing, and then I think each it's like each channel has a note you can put in of any type of thing, and you get like 4 or something like that. Oh, Hydrofighter needs the YouTube link on the Patreon group.
Okay, I can send that to him. Can send that to him.
Yeah, I don't have it actually at the moment.
It's all right. I can do it. I got it here. But yeah, okay. This is so the tracker itself is kind of like the original DAW, isn't it? It's like the original kind of like the
computer
very first
production
one, which is, like you can see them go down. It's all kind of like your coding and stuff like that, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think you put like notes. You do A4, and it puts that, and whatever sample or thing you're triggering plays that part. It's a trip. Like, it looks so complicated, but I think once it clicks in your brain, it's really interesting. And I know Aphex Twin uses them a lot, or used to use them a lot. It just seems like such a cool way to do it, especially because, like I said, you can put any sound on any layer, channel, whatever you want to call it. So like one thing could have both drums in one little section and then something else in the next section and things like that. So it's a really bizarre, flexible way of working, I feel like.
Cool.
Daniel in the chat, what's up? He says, trackers make me realize how small my brain really is. I know, just trying to describe it, I'm like, oh man, how do I describe this thing that I barely understand in general? I'm trying my best here, okay?
This is it. These programming things, like the poly tracker as well, is similar in a similar concept.
Oh, the poly end?
Poly end tracker. Sorry,
yeah, that thing looks sick. I really want one of those.
59 Perlin uses one. And,
yeah, I think he just got one.
Yeah, and he makes it work really well, and it's great. It's an interesting kind of thing. I've used some of these before. It's that coding, that thing going down, and for me, I like that visual aspect. Again, being the millennial that I am, I like to see the waveform on the screen in front of me and go from left to right.
Well, it's what we're used to, right?
Much.
I mean, that's what we're used to. But I feel like, as we've talked about, if you're ever stuck or need to get out of your comfort zone or, have a writer's block moment, that would be something interesting to try and use, because you'd really have to learn a whole new way of composing. Because now, it's not horizontal, right? It's vertical, but it's also numbers and changing things like that. And so it just seems like a really cool way to do it. And Daniel also says, little box makes music, beep, boop. Yeah, that's why I want the little thing. Just imagine, you could put it in your pocket, go on a flight or something, just whip out this little thing. It looks like you're playing a game, but you're actually just making music, Yeah, and I think it has computer software that you can connect to. So even if you're making music plugged into a laptop, you can see it probably on a larger screen or something.
Perhaps. We'll have to see. I'd like to see it, like I say, with a what's the phrase? With a price tag of 550 USD, not the cheapest thing in the world.
No,
but I mean,
I know. I was bummed when I saw the price.
Yeah,
but I understand. And there's
you're
chip
always
shortages.
bummed when you see the price.
That's true. I mean, except with the SP, that thing's crazy. For $500, look at that new OP1 they put out. That's like $2,000 for not that big of a change. I mean, I know there's some controversy with that price they're doing. Hydro Fighter, hello in the chat. He says, hello, gentlemen. What's going on, Steve? How you doing?
All right, Steve. We'll be with you in a bit. I need to, if I need to share my screen, it requires the ability to do the controls, which I can't do if you're popping there.
Yeah, we'll get you guys in at around we ran a little late because of technical difficulties, but 11:30, 11:35. Once we're done with the super booth, we'll hop to the round robin.
We'll get there, yeah, completely. And so, yeah, I mean, I love it, the portability. You know me, if I can fit it in my bag, I want to produce.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the onus for me. And
I would love to see you with a Circuit Trax or a SP or even MPC. I feel like you'd crush it with one of those.
I know, I feel I would too. And, it's just money, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just ain't got any.
I understand. I'm just saying, I feel like that would be awesome. Or even a Circuit Rhythm. That would probably be crazy in your hands.
I wanted to do it. I was thinking about getting the Circuit Rhythm, combining it with the monologue, and then maybe having my choice from Superbooth. The new Dysmetria, which they brought out, or they are bringing out. I think it's on kind of like a pre-order kind of like.
Is that Dreadbox? Kind of I didn't see that. All I saw was the DIY Erebus. Tell me about this thing.
This is the analog groove synthesizer. This is the DIY kit.
Okay.
This is their. I think it basically is an Erebus, but in DIY essentially.
Interesting.
So it comes in a box, and you basically build it yourself. And you know me, monkey.
Yeah, no, it's
things.
cool.
Like that kind of thing.
I would assume their Erebus too. It plugs into a modular rack, like it's a rack.
Well, you can design it as both. So you can design it as a tabletop device, and you can design it as a Euro rack kind of modular kit. Which,
let's see what its specs are. Can you scroll down?
So here,
we've
got two analog.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, we've got two analog oscillators, voltage control mix, noise generator, voltage control FN session, a 2-pole resonant filter, low pass, decay envelopes, a 32-step sequencer.
With 3 modes: play, live, record.
Isn't that great? Isn't that packing a hell of a punch in such a small little box?
Is it polyphonic or mono? Does it say up above?
It will be. I imagine it'll be monophonic.
Just check up. I wonder if up above it says it. Let's see.
Analog groove. No, it just says analog. It doesn't
modular
say
groove. Rhythm and bassline maker. I'd assume it's mono then.
It's gonna be mono in it. Yeah. Which is fine.
Who cares? The Erebus is. I mean, it's. I think paraphonic for 3, but it's really a mono synth.
Yeah, that's what you need. And I feel like it's. like I say, what really got me with the fact that it's got a 32-step sequencer in it.
Yeah, that's sick.
And that's just insane for such a small little box.
Mm-hmm.
And only for €200.
It's only €200.
Look at that, 200. Okay, excluding VAT, obviously. But,
yeah, well,
I mean, who pays taxes these days? And then you can kind of go, and then you can kind of just, and you have this own little kit with everything you need in it. You know, it's a lovely little. Plus, it's a project as well. You get to put it together and do your own thing.
That's like I don't think I have it handy, but the little Korg NTS1, that little, it's like $100 or something. You buy it and you build it. It was so much fun. Courtney got it for me for like Christmas or something last year or something like that. And it's a powerhouse of a synth, and it has all these awesome effects. And you can even plug external sounds into the effects on it, so it could become like an effects box. Like the reverb on it is nuts. It's insane. Yeah,
that's what you need.
Yeah,
I mean, I see more and more of these little things, and I've always thought they were a little bit of a toy, but I see more and more people use them.
Yeah, no, they're sick.
You can't really get on much board with that. So yeah, we did have the OP1 field in here as well, the new OP1, which again a little bit controversial, but we'll save that for Eon Lake, because Eon Lake wanted to talk about that. I think he has
an OP1, I believe, doesn't he?
He's got an OP1.
I'd assume.
Yeah, I mean, he's got everything. You know. He's got an OP1 and he's got an OPZ. And I mean, yeah, there are some controversies over the new release, but I mean, it's still
cool.
It's still cool, yeah.
I think the price is the controversy, not the update. If that makes sense, right?
I think so. The update itself is not especially. I mean, it's got a nice sheen to it, but like, we're gonna come through. So yeah, we'll have to see. So we're at 28 minutes past the hour, and we are getting towards that point. So Hydrofighter, if you wanted to come on in and knock on the door, we'd let you in, have a little chat. We're about to move to the round robin.
Yeah, and real quick before we do, if anyone in the chat has anything that they found interesting from Superbooth or that caught their eyes, let us know. I'm curious to hear what everybody else took from it, because I didn't keep up with it a lot this year. I was so busy, but there seems like there's a ton of cool stuff, and I know that what we talked about last week was it the Soma Terra or something. That thing's crazy. That little microtonal piece of wood. I was gonna say micro tuning, microtonal. I put it into one word and just went with it, but we got there at some point.
Yeah, we got there eventually.
This is an episode of technical difficulties, glitches, and whatnot, so you can forgive us.
Yeah, we'll see. But I mean, okay, so we'll move on to the round robin for now.
Yeah.
This is the part in the show where we invite our patrons to come on and chat with us. And hysteric. Hey, Juan's online. Hey, Juan, nice to see you, man. Sorry, ADHD.
Mine pops up delayed a little bit, but hey, Juan, how you doing, man?
There you go. So yeah, we invite our patrons to come on and have a little bit of a chat during the round robin. If you yourself, if this is something that you vibe with, then consider becoming a patron on our side of things by a pledge for as little as $2 a month. It supports us in a way that we can keep doing this, and also lots of extended little exclusivities, and you get to come online if that's what you want to do. So yeah, anything to add, or should I just let Steve in?
Patreon.com/audionautic if you'd like to join us. We'd love to have you. We also have a Discord that is accessible to everyone, and then there's a couple of patron channels exclusive, and we have a Twitter group for the patrons. So if you want to talk with us about anything and everything, mixing, mastering, tech, whatever, that's where you can find us.
Exactly. So let's bring Hydrofighter in and see what he's got to say. I'm hoping he's wearing a blue-gray shirt today.
And that his mic's working, because we've had enough of that today.
We'll have to see. Here he is.
Hey, guys.
We all got the memo about the uniform, bluish gray. Even Eon Lake had it. Unfortunately, he had tech issues, but he got the clothes memo.
How's my volume?
Can you raise it if possible?
Yeah, it's still got this reverby thing going on.
Yeah, there's an echo. I think it's your room.
Yeah, it is the room and the way I have the mic set up.
Just put some blankets behind you. Problem solved.
Just
put a coat over me. And
there you go. Look like Darth Sidious or something. Be like, good.
Are we okay with this volume here?
If you can raise it a little more, that'd be good. You're pretty quiet.
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Curtis, could you give me a couple words? Just
All right, how you doing? You're right.
Check.
Yeah, I think you're good. Keep it there.
Okay.
Maybe just a pinch lower if you can,
Okay.
Steve.
That works. How are you, Hydrofire? What's going on, man?
I'm good. I got to listen to Michael Sunwarper's singing voice today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What'd you think? Be
you're a
nice,
good
be
singer.
gentle.
You're a good singer, man. You've got a nice tone. You've got a nice tone to your voice, and I think it blends in well with your sound.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, my friend also did some backing vocals on it. So if you hear a voice that doesn't sound quite like me, it's him. Like in the first 2 choruses, that's him.
I'll have to listen to more of your singing voice to be able to distinguish between the two.
I think it's always an interesting one, like the idea of, obviously, because we haven't heard you sing before, and then suddenly here you are singing. It's like, is that the Sunwarper I know and love?
Well, you can always listen to my Stars Above stuff. That has me singing on it.
Have to go back and check it out.
Yeah, go to the deep cuts. Yeah.
Our friendship only started around Audionaut, and I refused to go back to that.
Well, whose fault is that? If you didn't know me, I don't want to listen.
So I'll have to see. But yeah, Hydrofire, how's your week? What have you been up to, man?
It's been good. Hey, let me ask you guys a question, though.
Yeah.
Go on.
Do you ever have a mix that's too clean, and you're like, this sounds so fake? That need to go back and dirty it up.
Mellow-fi, man.
Mellow-fi. Yeah, Mellow-fi is the way.
That's all you need. That's what I do. If I'm like,
I haven't had this issue this week, but I did a couple weeks back. I'm like, God, this just sounds so fake.
Yeah, I have that with guitars a lot, like in the box guitars, because I don't use the amp, and so I basically solved it by doing mellow-fi at the start and just dirtying it up and doing some wow and flutter. There's also that dirty tape from Softtube that works pretty well too. And then if I'll compress it, I use the Logic stock compressor, which we'll talk about in a minute, Curtis. That has like a clip function that you can do soft clip, hard clip, or I think limit or something. So I'll set it to soft clip if I need a little extra like grit, because it just does something like little powdered on top or something. That's what I do.
That makes sense.
Have you tried anything yet?
Well, no, I mean, I just go back and I tweak with it one way if it's adding effects or whatever. You know, sometimes with soft synths, they sound so soft and synthy that it just, you gotta dirty them up a little bit.
Just always, yeah. Like, I mean, they come out so pristine and so kind of like almost perfect in that sense that, like you say, you have to treat them a little bit in order to get something done. Otherwise, it's just.
What do you do, Curtis?
I tend to do a little bit. I tend to since discovering Hydrofire at the very least, it's been all about the saturation. It's all about saturation.
Distortion,
everything.
Yeah.
Saturation, distortion. Everything just gets a little bit of a crunch. Everything just gets a little bit of a pop up, that kind of thing.
That oddly brings up something else. Do you have anything else you do, Curtis? I don't want to cut you off.
No. Just it's usually. I mean, Juan will tell you how much I love saturation. Everything gets saturation. Everything gets saturation.
You got to.
You got it.
Really quick though, the other thing too, if you think about it from a compositional point, I found sometimes things sound too clean when you draw or over quantize. So like when everything's on the grid. So I'll just nudge things so that they're not hitting at the same time. Like put one of the notes in a chord a little before, a little after. Like move each one, and then also. And I think you do this, but because I know you run through songs, but automating like a filter throughout the song. So it's just subtly changing, even if it's not drastic, but subtle. I'll notice that will give it a lot more of that like analog vibe, or just putting the oscillators slightly off tune, or an LFO detuning each oscillator the other direction, like 1 - 2, 1 + 4 or something.
Yeah, sometimes I may even just sample like a noise floor, just like just straight up noise, and just add that in as the second channel.
Yeah,
like that.
That's cool. I like
that's
that.
a good idea.
I like that. It reminds me of my vocoder. So I like to add a vocoder, so usually like a snare or a rim or something like that, and then just you create those high end frequencies just to create a bit of noise, a little bit of distortion on that.
That's a good idea. Yeah,
it's a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
So this clean, before we move into the round robin, I mean, this is like a pre-round robin. It's kind of interesting. Really. Like, this kind of like, so this mix Hydrofire, has it successfully been dirtified?
I think so. Yeah. If it hasn't, it will be. That's for sure.
There we go.
Is it for you? Is it KST or what?
No, I'm working on the Hydrofighter stuff right now. We're taking a little null on the Thieves stuff for a bit.
When do you take your break with KST? Is it summers?
We just kind of balance it out. If we've got some stuff that we want to work on, and we like to space out. I know Josh is working on some of his own stuff right now too, but we like to space it out and say, hey, if we've got something like the last EP that we did, we had something like, let's just kick this out quick. Let's be done with this. But I'm typically constantly always working on my stuff. It just kind of depends on what he's got staged for the Shady Ridge label be released.
Right.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Fair. So, do we have any dates, or is it too early for that at the moment?
I can't tell you. I can't tell you anything. We gotta wait.
If Josh comes in the chat, we're gonna ask him.
Yeah,
he's gonna tell you the same thing. We've got this all planned out. I hung out with him on Friday.
Oh man, I need new Hydro Fighter.
I need my drum fix, man.
Yeah,
my drum fix.
Well, you go back and listen to the old stuff. I guess it's just like we're saying about Sunwarper stuff. We're gonna go back and listen to his vocal stuff.
Don't expect it to sound like electronic music. It's like crazy time signatures every other bar, distorted guitars, and
Meshuggah?
No, it's like post rock stuff. But I was really inspired by Smashing Pumpkins' earlier work too, in that time frame. So I was trying to do those like 18 guitar layers, all with different EQ cuts and different distortions and things like that. Daniel says he's going through withdrawals too, so you got to get on a Hydro Fighter, get it out.
Hop two.
Tell Shady Ridge, hey, people are calling for it.
We're gonna give you something good.
Yeah, that's what we want to see.
Oh, I know that. It's just the when is what I want.
It's always the way. But yeah, I wanted to bring you in because I wanted to hear what you guys thought. But this is I don't know if one is still watching, but this stems from a conversation that we were having at work about stock VSTs versus third-party VSTs.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, nothing's a binary issue. I'm just gonna put that out straight away. They both are good and they both serve their purposes and stuff like that. So they're always nice. But the question becomes, when are we using stock? When are we using third party? Are we just using stock? Are we just using third party? What are we blending different things for different ideas? And I'm really keen to know what you guys. I have my thoughts and I have what I'm doing, but I always bring this to the table. So I want to start with you guys and then find out where we're going with this.
Yeah. Also in the chat, if you guys have any opinions on this, let us know. We'd love to hear it.
Exactly. So let's get into it. So we have again. Third-party VSTs. I'm talking effects this week. We're not talking synthesizers. We're not talking.
Because that's a whole other ballgame.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But I'm talking literally post production. I'm talking like reverbs, delays, phases,
compressors,
choruses, all that stuff. So yeah, who should kick off today? Should we start with Hydro Fighter? Kick off.
Oh. You want me to?
Yeah, Hydro Fighter, kick us off.
Because I'll be a little bit more minimal and probably use more of the stock plugins than I do the outside ones, but I'm not out exploring as much as Sunwarper is or as much as Eon is. So when you guys bring in these ideas, I will go and check them out if it's something I like. I mean, like that Juno chorus that Eon's always bragging about.
Is that from Arturia?
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Man. It is. I use it all the time, and now the Supermassive too. I mean, that's.
I was wondering when that would come up.
I was just sweating, waiting to say Supermassive.
I don't use that on everything, but it is so.
You're missing
awesome.
out, man.
If you want those big reverbs, it is so awesome. But I'm fairly new to it yet, so that's where I haven't figured out where to blend it in with everything. But I think that's going to be one of the standards.
The secret is you don't blend it. You just crank it to 100 and put it on every single track.
This one goes to 11.
Oh, then you put it to 11 and you just you call it.
Yeah. But here's the other thing with I like to go through all of the stock plugins and make sure I have a decent understanding of them before I just shoo them away and go to something else.
Yeah, that's huge.
And I find the same thing with the synth plugins though too. It's like I don't want to buy too much stuff when I haven't really dissected what I have.
That makes sense. Yeah. Look in your back garden before you go to France.
Totally.
Yeah, for sure. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Sunwarper.
Yeah, I'm somewhat similar to you, even though you thought I wasn't. I talk about some third-party plugins a lot because those are pretty much the only ones I use. I didn't even buy like any third-party plugins until 2020, 2021, something like that. And it was mostly for just the mastering chain. Like, I think it's Yuhi's Presswork, that compressor, and they have a tape plugin. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on stuff today, but they have a tape saturation plugin, and I bought those two. I think those are like the first ones I bought, other than like Waves. And I'm just, the Wave stuff doesn't always click with me because of the way they do, like how you have to re-up and things like that. But they have some good plugins. But like you, Hydro Fighter, for the longest time, I wanted to just learn every in and out of each stock plugin in Logic and in Reason. And you can get a lot of really cool sounds out of it. And like, I've watched, Disclosure, who makes songs with millions of views and millions of plays. And like that one really famous song, I think it's Latch, he built completely in Logic with stock synths and stock plugins. Everything stock. I mean, it's like, yeah, so that alone should tell you, it's what you as a creator do with them, like with what you do with the tools rather than what tools you have. And so I always like to just learn everything about a plugin, and then if it still isn't meeting what I need, or if I see a new plugin that looks really cool, I'll get it. But I will say, like, that Pressworks compressor opened my eyes to compression a lot more than like the stock Logic plugin. But the stock Logic one is super powerful with like all these different compression types and things like that. And sound toys, I mean, I absolutely love sound toys.
This
Go ahead.
Depends. It depends on your budget too. I mean, how much are you willing to spend on a plugin or on outside vendor? And the other thing I use in Ableton though too is the Max for Live stuff.
Yeah,
there's so much free stuff out there, and it's not fabulous, but if it doesn't work, you just toss it, right?
Yeah, completely.
And the other thing I do too is I've got the Arturia synth package.
The V.
I was going to ask you actually. Did you get the whole bundle from Arturia? I
got the last, but not the most recent one they pushed out, but the one they pushed out last year. And in their synths, they have built-in effects outside of what the original synth that they're replicating would have. So they have additional delays and reverbs and stuff like that. So I use a lot of those things because I'm sure they're designed to be used with those synths. So I try to take advantage of it. And nothing goes overboard. It's usually like a chorus. It's a delay or a reverb, right?
So when it comes to, for example, because I know that you've just bought some of that hardware to go along with the VST controllers in Ableton, right? You showed us a couple of weeks ago.
In those, that's just a controller, though. I mean,
can you control these external effects VSTs through that as well?
If you can map them to do it. I mean, with Ableton, you can map anything to do it. But typically, what I'll do is I'll have that hardware controlled synth parameters, and I'll have my APC with the knobs use the effects parameters. I'll map them out that way. Just so you know, with those knobs in general, just kind of a side bit, if you buy a dial or knob controller, make sure it's one that has LEDs in it. So when you open up your song, it sets right to where the LEDs at.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That's a good little tip and trick. I like that.
I'm waiting for the new Behringer one to come out.
Right.
It's
okay.
The BCR32, and that has this step sequencer in it too.
Oh, cool.
Well, there we go. Then I'm gonna have to definitely have a look at that one. Then.
What about you, Curtis? So, what are your thoughts on this topic?
It depends on where I am in the mix. So if I am in, I stem. I come from this.
Nice.
Yeah, puns. So I come from, again, in a way of just learning everything that's inside and then getting monumentally frustrated at its limitations very quickly. For example, like in Ableton, the reverbs are okay, the delays are okay, but then you get to phases and you get to choruses, and I'm less intrigued by and less kind of enamored by, just for kind of like quick throwing them on, getting done. You know what I'm like. I'm kind of like just running around like a Labrador trying to find something and get that quick. So, but if I'm in my lead section, for example, I'll tend to use Valhalla because I mean it's the best thing. It's a league in its own. Let's face it, it's in a league of its own.
That's why I didn't even mention it. Like I said in the Twitter group, I consider it an instrument in its own right, because I'll just like the B-side to Farther, Our View from Space, those intro guitars, just 100%. Maybe you don't even know they're guitars, but it's just a Valhalla on stereo guitars at 100%.
Nice. Well, there you go. It's beautiful. It's an absolutely beautiful piece of kit.
It's incredible.
It's amazing. Yeah, and I'll do it. I mean, I'm working on an 8-year-old laptop, so like the limitations of what I can do in terms of processing power are really very much there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll whack on some Valhalla and some sound toys in my lead section where they need to be most prominent, for example. And then when it comes to sitting things in the mix, and when it comes to just making things just not stick out as much, blending them, that kind of thing, I'll use a stock reverb, for example. I was doing that with delays and reverbs for a long while until about 2 months ago, when I found Lars Haur. Thank God bless Lars Haur. He sent me a load of plugins from Glitch Machines, and he also included the Dub Station 2.
What is that?
Which was it's a delay. It's a delay plugin, and it's it's great specifically for things like dub and for psychedelic stuff. So there's some weird trippy
right
stuff.
up your alley then.
Exactly. And I've been using that a lot more again, because you can slap it on, find a nice kind of sound, nice beat, and kind of go with it. So in terms of so if it's in the mix section or the rhythm section, I tend to just use the stocks. But then with the leads, that are more pronounced, need to be a little bit more gritty, for example, a little bit more and just less stock. It's always a good way to go, that kind of thing. The beauty, I don't know if it's the same in Logic, but in Ableton there's 0 latency on stock plugins. I don't know if that's the same in Logic. I
don't really notice latency in general, but I have the what's it called, buffer or whatever, set super low. So
okay, you've also got a proper Mac as well, haven't you?
Yeah, it's a 2020, I believe. I think it's 32 or 64 gigs of RAM or something. So
that sounds lush, right? So that's what you need.
Yeah.
So in terms of saving CPU usage, obviously it's a balancing game. And if you're a beat maker or a bedroom producer, that might be something to think about more than anything. CPU over sound, because like you say, if you can make a full disclosure track with stock plugins, I mean, you could do.
Stock everything. It seemed like, maybe not drums, but I watched him break down like the whole track, and it's a stock synth, stock bass, stock plugins, stock everything. I mean, it's crazy. It's all automations and things like that give it the sound that it has. It's really interesting. But I like that idea that, I mean, it's sad that it has to be that way, but it's almost creative in its own right, that you're hampered by your CPU and things, so you have to choose strategically where to place the most important sounding effects and things like that. It's just an interesting way to compose. Like, even if you weren't limited by it, it still might be kind of cool just as a exercise in like minimalism or whatever, or strategy.
Yeah,
and a good reason to use sends.
Yeah.
Too,
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Sends
a
are
great
huge.
reason to use sends, which is the only thing in Ableton that I am less impressed of.
You don't like their sends?
Well, so I come from FL. So in FL, when you're doing sends and returns and stuff like that, you can do so much and so intricately done, and it doesn't create much space, or doesn't take up much space on the screen. When you start making all those sends in Ableton, it starts racking up quite quickly.
Gotcha.
That's just me being a spoiled little chimp. That's all. That's nothing. I love Ableton more than anything. So, I mean,
you just got to do your core effects on your sends. So I do like a delay and a reverb generally all the time. Supermassive will probably have its own sends, but I mean, I try to keep it limited because I'm using the controllers too, and I don't want to build any restrictions on what the controller can do. So my controller is restricted to using 3 effect sends by default.
Okay, that works. I mean, so are you running, for example, if you've got an iteration of Valhalla, and because I mean, why wouldn't you? Are you sending, for example, multiple synths and multiple things to that, so it's all coming out of one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I do a blend. I use the effect sends to do a blend on each instrument. So I might have just one dry track with a little a little limiter on it, and then the reverb and the delay, and then you mix the blend of how you want the reverb and delay on per instrument.
Cool.
Yeah, for anyone interested, we have done a Lightspeed with Hydrofighter talking about his sends and things like that. So I'll put a link after this episode airs, or after it ends being live. I'll put a link to that. You should check it out because he goes in depth. I think we did 2 with you, one about drums and another about like synths and sends and things like that. And both are really interesting in terms of how you produce and making like really vibrant sounding drums, but also the bus channels are super important. And once we talked with you about that, I started doing it and it completely changed my workflow.
Yeah, and you can automate what you
exactly
sends too, right?
Yep. Yeah, like the vocals and farther, I'm automating delays from the sends because there's like 30 vocal tracks because there's a ton of harmonies and doubles and things like that. So I'll automate like when it goes to the delays and when it goes off of it, chorus, things like that. And that's all from you from that Lightspeed. So if anyone's interested, the link will be in the comments after.
Was it? It was like definitely in my head. It was like the original Audionautic podcast that we did. Like back.
I know we did a Lightspeed with him,
We
but
did
it may
it
have
was a
also
Lightspeed.
been a Audionautic original. But I was just trying to save face to not say we changed series 2 or 3 times. But
Well, I mean, we have. I mean, it's
no,
all
I
on
know.
our YouTube.
I'm kidding. The records are there.
It could have been on both of them. I
That's
did one
what-
individually
yeah.
talking about drum production and using synths there, but both Ian and I did one with you too of talking about synths, and I think we were probably talking about the synths
Yeah,
and that.
so it's probably
as well.
both.
Yeah.
So I'll put
Yeah.
links to both either way, whether they're Lightspeeds, Audionautic podcast, whatever they are, the links will be there in the comments.
Completely. We'd like to know what you guys think about your end of plugins. What are you using? Are you using stock? Are you using your third parties? Are you using both? What's your main kind of priority? Be interested to see and kind of create a dialogue around this because
Yeah.
it's a cornerstone of what we do, and it's kind of like how we generate and how we kind of sculpt maybe our sound.
Mhm.
So I'd
Craft.
be curious to see craft. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so we're curious to see where we go. So
Yeah.
let us know. We are 53 minutes past the hour. Shall we move towards our little marketing minute?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Hey,
so,
we need a little jingle.
I know, we
when
gotta
we
get
kick
that.
off this thing.
I know.
You know, like the NBC thing, or like how
As
Board
if
for
we
Canada
need-
starts off an album.
As if we need more
Ding, ding,
potential
ding.
for technical difficulties right now, though. I think we'll wait till we get just turning it on so sorted.
I think as soon as we get 3 weeks of non-technical difficulties, then
Yeah.
we are qualified to have big boy pants and start bringing the extra. It's like literally, but just before we came online on air, we were talking about what we can do to make the transmission incoming bit, the pre-show bit, a bit more interesting. Like now,
Add music, which we are gonna do, but
We will do,
but
yeah.
we're gonna slowly phase that one in.
So we'll see. We're under no qualms what this is. We thank you guys for watching and supporting us. It's always nice. But for now, marketing minutes, Sunwarper, take it away. What we discussing this week? Or
Yeah,
what
so
we
this is
got?
just a quick one this week. Though this is off the cuff, but I do want to mention in the Twitter group, I was having a conversation with Lars about like NFTs because the Wall Street Journal posted something about how I think an NFT that originally sold for like 30 million or something sold for like $100 or something, you know, some crazy drop. And then they were talking about how it could evolve as a place for supporting artists and things like that. But Adam Mosseri, the CEO of Insta, who I talk about almost every marketing minute because it's important, Instagram's huge, but he did a TED Talk. I think it was a TED Talk, but he posted it. It's 12 minutes or something on his Instagram where he was talking about ways that he thinks the internet will become decentralized and also using blockchain link artists on all social media if all these social medias agree to it. Like basically if you choose to support an artist like as a patron, you would get a token, right? And that token would get you following them on each website. So if you follow them on Insta with that token and this artist then makes a Twitter, you're already following him because it's all linked through this like Web3 blockchain and things like that. It's an interesting potentiality. And I mean, he even says, you know, like every company would have to agree to these sorts of things and all that. kind of a big dream, but I thought it was interesting. If anybody wants to watch it, I'll put that also in the comments. It's worth watching just to see. I'm just trying to stay appraised on like where this thing is going. And really quick, David in the chat, hello, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us. But anyway, so for today's main marketing topic, just real quick, want to talk about YouTube clips. This is super promising, I think. So YouTube now allows you to make anyone, whether it's if the creator allows it to be clipped, anybody can go to a video and clip a segment of it from 5 seconds to 60 seconds. And then it creates a link to that clip. But anytime someone clicks that link, it goes to the full video, but with a loop on that clip. And then it gives you the option you can click to watch the full video. So just as an example, I'll use Audionaut because it's like the easiest. It's right here. Let's say we have a segment that Curtis thinks is really funny and he wants to, or really informative and wants to use it on social media as promo. He would make a clip. What was that, Curtis?
Just usually more funny.
I know, but I just wanted to give the option that you may choose to do something informative for once. You know, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, so let's say for once he breaks the chain and he makes something informative. He finds something that's informative, which is a rarity too, I guess. But but so he takes that clip, makes it 60 seconds, let's say. It makes the link. We post it on our Twitter. Everybody that clicks that link on Twitter will go to the full ADSN episode, but it'll be a loop of this 60-second clip. And then if they want to, they can then watch the full episode. So what's important there is that you're driving views and likes and subscriptions, anything like that, to a full video and not just some little social media clip that no one then clicks anywhere. So like on Instagram, you know, we post reels or something, but they're not going anywhere. You know, they'd have to click your bio or something like that. Real quick, David says, I wish I had an idea where NFTs are going. We all do. But I don't know if you were there yet when I was talking about the TED Talk from the Instagram CEO. It's worth watching. After this airs, I'll put the link in the comments. It was just interesting. It's probably the best case scenario of where NFTs could go. But if it can go even remotely in that direction, it could be really useful to artists. I think he was even saying using artists as investments, like angel investors would say, I'm going to give you 100,000 and then your profits, I'll get 5%, you know, or something. Just some interesting idea. But anyways, back to the YouTube clips. It's just a cool, another option for getting people to go to your channel.
Well, I mean, this is, I mean, it's interesting that you bring this up, this idea that, okay, when you do it, would it be a portrait or would it be a widescreen?
No, it's widescreen. I think it's just widescreen because it's just a link to YouTube. So if it's a widescreen YouTube video, it would be a widescreen clip because it takes you to the full video, but then on the little bar, it's a loop of just that however long clip.
Okay, that's good to know because I mean, obviously, we cut everything in widescreen for things like binary stars, AMAP, and stuff like that, and then convert it into a portrait for a reel for Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that would be just from a purely workload perspective. That's quite nice in the sense that you don't have to do that as much.
I'm just thinking for Twitter, you know, or even Facebook or something, or Discord, whatever. It's just another way of getting people to the YouTube.
Ah, look, who's the...
hello.
Any luck there, Howard?
I'm not very happy.
Are you hearing us though? Let's find out if that's the first thing. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, there he is. All right.
Yeah, it's great to see you, man. How are you?
I'm not.
No, not happy. No, I get it.
Looking forward to this.
Yeah, me too. It's cool. I mean, we were saying like we were this close. Like last week, we had no technical difficulties, and we just basically just jinxed ourselves. Like,
yep.
We got done.
Everything was great.
It's all right. Just don't touch your rig for a whole week until we meet up again.
Yeah, I mean, sound check is becoming a bit more important now.
Yeah.
It all booted while I was having dinner. I came back up. Why won't the screen come on?
Yeah.
It's all switched off. Oh, good.
Right.
Too much hardware soaking too much power, man.
It's all switched off apart from that.
Real quick, David says, definitely YouTube seems to be one of the only ways to monetize. Yeah, it just seems like it's not very much, unfortunately. And I've seen things where monetization, there's tiers or something to that effect, where it's like music is the lowest tier. I think Mary Spender did a video talking about, she did a video that made like 1 million or 2 million views, and she got a very small amount of money from it. And she said something like that musicians get the lowest amount of cost per clicks.
Yay!
So, yeah,
valued as people.
Yeah.
I love being valued. I love it.
But that's why these things of like patrons and things like that with these NFTs or even not could be interesting. But yeah, they have some weird, possibilities with it too, and just NFTs in general just still seem pretty scammy. So
I'm encouraged. Again, I'll reiterate what I said last week. I'm encouraged by it. I think yes, at the moment it's a little bit murky, a little bit kind of we don't really know what's going on. But
it's like a Wild West.
Yeah, completely. But I think if once it stabilizes and we get an idea around it, I do believe in that decentralization, and I do believe that it will bring a more direct form of payment for the artist and for where they're going. And I feel like, we can kind of usurp the I mean, I know we have a label, but I mean the idea of the labels, and we can usurp like the distributors and the Spotify's and stuff like that, and people can buy directly, support directly. I love it. I can't wait.
Real quick in the chat, I think Daniel quoted something from YouTube about cost per clicks. It says, for every click you get a quarter of a peanut shell. I think that's a direct quote.
I mean, I'd love a quarter of a peanut shell, to be honest. That'd be great at this point.
Yeah.
He is over egging it a bit, isn't it?
Yeah. Daniel, I want to know how you're getting your streams, mate. Oh, fuck me. That's dinner for a week, bro. I'll tell you what. Let's as Haur's come back in. Sunwarper, is there anything more?
Well, the only other thing I was going to say with the NFTs that you kind of touched on, and I mentioned this in the Twitter group with Lars, is what could be interesting is you look at CDs when they resell, or vinyl, and they sell for hundreds of dollars. The artist doesn't get any bit of that, and it's like exploitation and all that stuff. This way, with this blockchain, there's ways to set up where an artist gets 25%, 50% of a resale.
Yeah,
I mean, it's interesting,
It's great. Yeah, I mean, that's again
an interesting point. Definitely, that is a bit of a game changer.
Yeah, that's what could be
You
huge.
get money every time it's sold, not just like to the first person and then that's it, you're out of the picture.
Yeah, I think the percentage drops every like sale or something, but I could be wrong, and there might be other ways to change it or something.
Just to reiterate, Daniel, how did he get his streams? They're all bots.
So that's how you do it, folks.
Yeah, that's what you can do. I'll tell you what, we started a little bit late, so we'll carry on a little bit later. I feel as Howard's made the effort. Would you like, Howard, before we go, can you take us through
50 minutes troubleshooting is fine.
Great, yeah, great.
You guys.
Yeah, he was in the chat for like 15 minutes just rambling and playing his modular while we tried to talk.
Yeah. Could we I'd like to bookend what we started with and just
No, not more technical difficulties, please.
No.
Let's break everything.
I'd like to just go back to. I feel like as we are an electronic, semi-ambient, semi kind of like indie electronica kind of vibey bedroom producer people, I feel like we wouldn't be doing people a service if we didn't mention the OP1 field.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we'd be doing people a disservice. So I'm gonna.
What's favourite overpriced bit of kit?
Oh, here we go. This was Howard's choice from
No, I do love mine, but damn, they cost a lot of money.
Take us through it. Go. We'll let you off the leash. Go.
I've
Go.
been saying recently, well, they're going to discontinue them because it's not changed in years, and then lo and behold, they have changed it, and now it's some field version. They've made it smaller
And more expensive, right?
Boy, did they make it more expensive.
Yeah.
Onto that. The cassette sort of paradigm that they use for the recording has been up, so you can change them, and there are lots of different types now that have different sonic qualities and so on. You've got tons more recording on them. Mm-hmm. There's a high-res screen. There are loads. There's over 100 improvements or something that they've made to it, and you can bet your life it's going to be good. They're really solidly made, brilliant bits of kit, but god damn, how much money? I mean, $2,000 this new one's going for, and I'd take one, but you know,
Yeah, I bet you would. I bet you fucking would. Yeah.
yeah. The original OP ones are coming down in price on eBay though, which is good news.
That's good. That's what you want. Yeah, this is the one thing I can take from it. I really want.
It's more like 600, 650. It's a bit more like it.
It is. I really want an OP1, and this is the only way I'm going to get one is when they brought out the OP1 field, because that's $2,000. I mean, 600 is still ridiculous, but one of these days.
Are they still making the Z?
Yeah. And
No
they're
update
good
on that one.
They're good. A nice like.
Yeah, I know you
screen.
like that one, right?
Your iPad or your phone, you can synchronize. You can like sync pictures and stuff, animate stuff in time with your music and so on. It's a weird bit of kit. I've got one. It's good fun.
Do you pair them up?
Yeah, sometimes.
Be nice to see. I mean, I know very
songs on my album. Moat, the first one that you played, Curtis, was that was almost all of it. That was done on an OPZ.
Really?
With just a few little overdubs.
Cool. All right, that's interesting to see. I mean, I've never really considered the OPZ just because I like the little tape deck on the OP1, and I love the little UI, the UX, the UI design thing. You know me, shiny, look at it, and that kind of thing.
Well, this X element, the way that they do things, I mean, the cow thing and all of that, it's just bizarre, but it works. There's some really weird things on it, but it's kind of all at the same time. It's not bad for doing lo-fi stuff as well.
David shares my sentiment in the chat. He says the laptop is a better investment for a musician. This is decadent but lovely, I'm sure.
That's
brutal.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those. If you've got $2,000 up your sleeve, then all right.
You already bought a laptop.
Yeah. You've got other priorities, you know.
Because I mean, let's face it, that's a very good point. It's the most flexible piece of kit you can get, really, isn't it? A laptop.
The other thing too is something like a MPC-1 or SP or Digitact or something. Like those are all under $1,000, right?
Yep.
And those can do. I know at least compared to the OP1, they can save more stuff and things like that. Because can't the OP1 only hold like one project or something? I thought I saw that in a video. I don't have it, so
there's the vinyl thing that you can record onto. It's like it looks like a record player, and you've got two sides of that. But it is limited, definitely. Yeah. I mean, it is what it looks like as a portable thing. It's very easy to drag your files off it. You can just USB it to a computer and pull everything off it, and drop it into a DAW. But yeah, it's
limited. For 2000.
I mean, for me, it's all about portability. And like again, the Syntac that's just come out, for example. Yes, it's great. It's small. It's compact. Needs an external power source in order to power it. Whereas the OP1's got battery life, for example.
Really good battery life.
Yeah, this is it. This is what keeps me kind of considering one, because it's summer here in Prague. I can go and find a tree, take my shoes off, stick my feet in the soil, and then just make some music on my lads, you know.
And I've not seriously cleaned the SP404 batteries yet. Obviously, you can run it off a USB power pack if it's got enough juice, or you can put about 6 batteries in it.
Yeah,
it's supposed to do a couple of hours, I think, but it will just switch off and go if it's not got enough power.
Circuit's got batteries and it warns you whether it's dying. Doesn't the MPC?
That's very polite.
Yeah, it flashes.
Battery that lasts quite well.
Yeah, and David mentioned 2 things. He says, I think modular provides a better chance to find your sound. Eon Lake probably can vouch for that. And then he also says Akai Force, which isn't that like their bigger version of the MPC or something?
I'm not familiar with that.
I think, David, maybe you can clarify, but I thought that's like that really big looking like MPC or something. But yeah, I think the MPC has batteries, right? You have one, Eon Lake.
It's got a built-in battery. It lasts pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all of those are less expensive than the OP1 if you're looking for
a long way, especially if you're not buying them new.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the OP1's cool. I'm just saying if we're talking like battery is the greatest reason to get it. I mean, there's other alternatives is all I'm pointing
All
out.
right. I just need a billion, and then I can just do whatever I want.
I know people
but-
swear by its workflow, so I mean, it sounds like it's a really cool piece of kit. It just, the price seems a bit controversial.
Yeah, very much so. Well, we'll see. So yeah, that works out in it nicely in its own right. We'll have to see. We'd like, again, as we said at the end of the last Superbooth segment at the beginning of the show, we'd like to know what you guys think, because it's a great. I would like to know these things happen every year. I didn't even know Superbooth was a thing until Sunday, which shows you how much I pay attention to my own craft.
Drop us a list though of things that you would rather have, and spend $2,000 on an OP field.
Well, I mean, we have to do priorities. But if I had $2,000, I mean, I'd buy a new laptop first. But we're getting there. We're getting there. But yes, cool. I think that kind of wraps everything up for today. I think that's where we're at. A patchy show, gentlemen.
Not modular patchy.
No.
Yeah, not the good kind.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's I mean, let's face it. At least we're being honest and real. Let's face it.
Real quick about the Akai Force. He says, yes, just another NPC-like player. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like the Ableton push, like a big Ableton push.
Yeah, okay.
It's all hardware right inside of it.
Cool.
I'm looking for.
And they did build the Ableton push. Okay.
Did they?
Oh, they did?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
That makes sense.
Well built, solid stuff.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of time for them.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of time for anything to do with Ableton. To be honest, if it's there, I'll just stay in it all day, like a duvet, basically. But yeah, thank you very much for you guys joining us today. We really appreciate it. If you've enjoyed it, let us know and spread the word, because we are very small and we'd like to reach new people if we can. So if you did like it, tell someone about what we do, because we like doing it. We want to do it more.
And feel free to head to the Discord. It's in the description. We're all on there talking all about it, about everything. I kind of want to continue that conversation, the round robin, about plugins and stock plugins versus third party. So we might be bringing that up. So if you're interested in voicing an opinion, that'll be a good place to go.
I'll drop it in the Discord after the stream goes down, and we'll go from there. Because it'd be interesting to see what people think about stock, and we'll come back to it at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much indeed. Eon Lake, Hydrofighter, any final words?
No, I like the YouTube stuff though too. There's probably room for another conversation on that, about how labels could utilize something like that. So cool.
Yeah.
That's very dystopian. I like it. Daniel said, just before we go, Daniel said that he wants to see more tech issues next time.
I'm sure they're coming. Don't worry about it.
No stress, brother.
It's part of the show at this point.
He just jinxed himself. He won't be able to log in and see it because his tech is going to die.
Yeah. We might have music in the starting soon section, so I'm sure there's room for tech issues there.
Come to see ADSN, music production, laughter, and technical difficulties.
Yeah, there we go. But we're getting better.
We're getting there.
So your stuff working at home, you're having too much of a good time, and why not watch us suffer instead?
There you go. That's the tagline.
So you don't have to.
I like it very much.
Gentlemen, when is the next Binary Stars coming, Curtis?
Well, you're giving it to me tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll edit it on Friday, so I'll probably put it up. It's going to be last weekend of the month. Let me check the calendar.
I think that's the 28th.
That's the 28th. That rings a bell. As you know, I live by this Google Calendar.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. 28th. It'll be 28th.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. So we got what? Yeah, a week and a half essentially. So I'm going to edit it on Friday. It'll be up and it'll be out next Sunday. So yeah, all good.
Cool.
Sick. Gentlemen, been a pleasure as always. Looking forward to seeing you and more of Eon Lake next week.
Yeah.
It'd be great to see.
And barring any technical difficulties, the show is at 11 a.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. UTC on Wednesdays. So we hope to see you there. This week was like 11:05 or something, but we got through it. So yeah, till next time, gentlemen. Always great seeing you. And thanks everybody in the chat. We hope to see you next time.
Take it easy.
Bye.